Oh, the biggest game of the season is here. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the Dugout Football Channel. It is Liverpool against Manchester City, probably the biggest game of the season by far. And I have been joined by none other than an absolute legend himself, Mr. Dominic Rich. How are you, Dominic?
I'm fine. How are you doing, man? How are you doing?
Yeah, I am good. I'm really looking forward to this game. How about you?
Yeah, I am. But it's always a type of game where it could go any way. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And like for me, the last three games went well in that we won what 4-0,
Yeah,
one draw, and then we had the 4-1 drubbing last season as well. So for
yeah.
me, the build up, anything could happen, and you're like, oh man, I hope we just don't lose to them. And then City, went out there for the last three games and they did their thing. So it's a good feeling for me, and I'm confident. That is why I'm confident going into the fixture as well. Even though we came off of a loss against PSG, I'm still very confident in the Premier League because a lot of people seem to forget that we're in the Premier League, and that's what we're talking about.
Mm.
When you talk Premier League and you say, okay, City won three titles in the last four seasons, and it seems like people forget that, and they come and they throw Champions League trophies in your face.
Yeah.
Like we have to learn to separate the competitions. That's the Champions League. Okay, you have done well in the Champions League. We got to the final last year. We don't get no credit for that, right? We don't get no credit for getting silver. You get no credit for getting silver. And we won the Premier League three seasons out of four.
Yeah.
But yet we get the Champions League thrown in our face. You see what I mean? So that's the thing. And that's why when we go out there and do what we do, opposition fans, they get rattled. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we rattle some fans this weekend as well.
Well, I've got to say that this is obviously first against second, which is incredible when you think about it. How would you sum up your start to the season?
Well, it's not the best start in that we played what, six games, we won four, we lost one, we drew one. And it's like it's better than last season because
Hmm.
after eight games, we were 14th in the table last year, if I could
Yeah.
recall. So it's a much more positive start than last season. And even with the start we got last season, we still went on to win the league. And that's what people don't even realize. Like teams could get off to a really fast start and then they run into problems like what Liverpool did last season. I'm just saying, just as an example, and anything could happen at any given time in the season. You saw things were going well for you, and then Van Dijk and Gomez got injured. Matip had his problems. Fabinho had his problems. Jota, you had Henderson had his problem. Everybody was like dropping left, right, and center. So
Yeah.
these are things you don't really plan for a lot of times. You see what's going on with Besiktas right now. You see what I mean? They didn't plan for that,
No.
but it happens. So I'm very satisfied with the way the season started. It would have been ideal if we didn't lose to Tottenham though. The draw against Southampton is fine. It happens, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty good. What about you? You're still unbeaten, so you must be
Yeah.
happy about that.
I mean, obviously the game last week was a crazy game of football. Brentford deserved. I would actually say they probably deserved to win that game.
Well, they matched. I don't know. I don't know if I go as far as to say they deserve to win the game. They matched your intensity. They got a point. To them, they won the game because one of the players was interviewed. I think it was Janelt, if I'm not mistaken, and he said
Yeah.
that the draw felt like a win. So to them, it's a win because you're coming up against Liverpool and you get 1 point. That's a lot of points. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because more than likely you would have gotten no point from the game. So for them, it's like a win, and I think for Liverpool it would feel like a loss because that's like 2 points dropped late in the match there. So Klopp would feel like, yeah, we dropped 2 points instead of gaining 1 point. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it becomes a loss if you know, not really a loss, but a loss. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you drop points.
Yeah, definitely. It was a crazy game of football, and I fully expect the same on Sunday. Let's talk about obviously your transfer window. Now, one signing came in. That was Jack Grealish. Everyone had said, and I admit, I think you and I were probably going to say it, Harry Kane was the striker that City needed. But actually, when you think about it, do you think City have made the right decision not to go for Harry Kane?
Was it City not going for Harry Kane, or we went for Harry Kane and we got turned down? Because from the reports, we wanted him. We were willing to put up the money and even players. And Levy said no. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm.
now the levy has broken, it seems. So, you know,
I like that. I like that.
yeah. So, yeah. Look, it's you could look at it a lot of different ways. You could say, all right, if we had Kane, would have been scoring a lot more because maybe he would have been playing a more forward role instead of coming back so much like he does for Spurs, right? Like
Yeah.
he's very deep in defense a lot of times for Spurs. Maybe for City, he would have just been sitting at the halfway mark waiting to go on a corner or something like that because he's not overly quick. Help out sometimes, but, play a role, stay up there and, poach around a bit. We could say that he could have helped us score more goals or whatnot and win games like against PSG where we had so many chances, but we couldn't beat Donnarumma. Maybe Harry Kane would have
Mm.
been able to unlock their defense. But then you could say, yeah, we dodged the bullet because look at what's going on there for Spurs. I think he played 5 games already and he haven't scored any, have not assisted any. And it's an indifferent start to the start he had last season where he was racking up the assists and the goals like it's nothing. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I think he eventually won the best goal scorer and best assist in the league last season as well, which is very unprecedented. So we could say, yeah, I'm saying right now like, thank God we didn't get him, but at the same time it's like, what if we got him? You see what I mean? And
Hmm.
then for the strikers out there, City are a type of team where other teams would go in and they would identify a striker. It ain't the striker that they want, but they'll say, yeah, let's just sign him because let's see if he'll get the job done. City are not like that.
Yeah.
City wants a player, that's the player they want. They may have one or two more other players on the list, on the short list, that are very good as well, like the Ruben Diaz situation where it worked out. We wanted Koulibaly, we wanted Koundé. We didn't get any of those, and we ended up getting Ruben Diaz, and it was the guy. So you could see a situation like that with Harry Kane where we wanted Kane, we didn't get him, and maybe the guys that are on the short list, if we get them, they'll be able to do the job. I've been
Hmm.
seeing names like Vlahovic going around. I never seen this guy play. You know what I mean? Never seen him. I never even went to look at highlights. So, because I was like, it just doesn't sound convincing to me. You know what I mean? Because he's Serbian. There's Mitrovic. There's Jovic. And now there's Vlahovic. Like, where did he come from? Like, out of the woodworks, just pop up. And, like, for me, there's guys like Darwin Nunez. He's been on my radar, but then he kind of disappeared a while. And then you see he came back against Barcelona. He's at
Yeah.
Benfica. So it's a signing that City could possibly make because he's a Benfica man, and City does business with Benfica. I've been seeing Nkunku being thrown around, so it's like who knows? Who knows who we're gonna get? Haaland. I've seen an Mbappe rumor. I'm like, oh, I don't even know, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, very difficult market to go out for a striker. But one did come in, Jack Grealish. What have you made of his impact so far?
Yeah, I think he's done a great job so far. Pep's been trusting him, starting him. I think he just needs to have some more tricks. You see what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
against PSG, like every time he went down, Hakimi just dealt with him because all he was doing was just trying to like drop his shoulder and cut in, and he was getting the ball picked off him all the time. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing about Grealish. Maybe he should have tried some more crosses into the box. You see what I mean? Something like that. When you get the ball, when you cut in, just put the ball in. Who knows? It could drop and go in at the far post or something, So just try something. Just try something different. You know what I mean? And that was just my problem with Grealish there. But overall, he has been a menace. You know what I mean? He has been
Yeah.
a menace. I like when he gets fouled and we get the free kicks and everything. And he would only grow as time goes on as well as he continued to work under Pep Guardiola. So
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
I'm satisfied with him. He got 2 goals and 2 assists, if I'm not mistaken, so far. That's better than Sancho. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, what more could I ask for, man?
Yeah, exactly. City, one defeat, but one goal conceded all season. It's been you have been very, very good at the back this season.
Yeah, people not noticing these things, bro. People not noticing these things. They're not. They're not. We lost in the Champions League. Everybody happy. That was the first time since
Hmm.
2018 that City lost in the group stages. We went
Yeah.
the entire last season, entire, and only lost in the final. So it's like, where's the respect? You get no respect, none. Because why? You're City. That's what it is. You're City. But one of these days, man, one of these days, you get the respect because it's just time. It's just time. And the generation that's here right now, in that the generation that witnessed the team come into, power with the money and everything, and they frown upon that and everything. But a lot of clubs have got financial takeovers and bailouts and things like that and being bought out. Liverpool itself, had their
Hmm.
financial problems and they got taken over. And what if that never happened? You see what I'm saying? What
Yeah.
if that never happened and you were with the same owners that when you were suffering? You see, so people need to. I think people are just bitter towards the come up of teams like PSG and teams like Manchester City, but it's like that's what the game is all about. The game is all
Yeah.
about money, how much money is coming in, and how you handle the money and how you spent the money, and not go on to be like FC overdraft like Barcelona. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you see the problems that they're having right now. So if we were mishandling our funds and doing all kind of craziness with the money, would be the situation like Barcelona right now. You see?
Mm.
So I think City deserves a lot more credit than they get, if I'm being completely real.
Yeah, because that Chelsea game, I remember a lot of people, and myself could be included in this.
Even me.
A lot of people expected Chelsea to win that game as
Even
well,
me.
but that game just showed why City are still the team to beat.
Exactly, exactly. But people still think. I think maybe those 2 losses that Chelsea picked up against Juventus and City, people probably be like, I don't know, man, I don't know, and then there's United. There's United doing what they do best. People probably saying, I don't know about this United team at all, man. And so it leaves Liverpool and City now. So it's Liverpool versus City for Premier League supremacy. So
I
anyone who
know.
comes out on top in this game would have that edge going forward. You see what I mean? If the game
Yeah.
ends in a draw and Chelsea beats Southampton, then Chelsea would be ahead of both teams. So they would get some confidence back. You see what I mean? So,
Yeah.
and then there's United as well, could go ahead of both Man City and Liverpool. But it's only 7 games in. after this,
Yeah.
there'll be 31 to go. So doesn't make sense to really panic right now about things,
No.
about losses and things like that. So yeah.
What have you made of Liverpool this season so far?
You guys have been stellar. Very, very stellar. No losses. I'm not saying you've been like, oh my God. But you've had your moments where you've been like that. But then you had the Chelsea game where they went down to 10 men, and who knows, maybe you should have beaten them. But people say, oh, they were more difficult to play against with 10 men than they were with 11 men. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the thing about Chelsea is that they scored first in that game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing is, when they score first, they're a different team. If they had conceded first, you guys would have won the game, because I'm realizing slowly but surely that Thomas Tuchel does not have a plan B of some sort. You know what I mean? I don't know if you realize that.
Yeah.
Like, he plays compact, looks to get the goal on the break and things like that. But when he doesn't get the goal, when the other team, their tactics are unsung and they able to keep the clean sheet there and then get the goal against Chelsea, it's like Tuchel is like, he picks up the controller and he just starts to like do this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, let me just do this and see what happens, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and I spoke about him doing that against Juventus, because if you look at the substitutions that he made, I'm like, what kind of substitutions are these? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you think these guys that you don't play regularly are gonna do the job for you here? Like, you bring on Callum Hudson-Odoi, you bring on what you call it? They are Ross Barkley, you bring on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like maybe some of these players should have been getting a start, like in a Champions League game. So if that doesn't work, then you go for the guys you could actually rely on, so that when you do that, you keep the guys involved and their morale is high. But when they come on, they always feel like they have something, they have to prove themselves, and that's pressure. When you're coming up against Bonucci and Chiellini and De Ligt and all these guys who are just throwing their body at the ball, it's going to be very, very difficult. You see what I mean? So seems like the plan B isn't there for Thomas Tuchel. 2 games in a row. 2 games in a row.
2 games.
The exact same situation. Conceded the goal early in the second half and then didn't know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Lukaku as well. He's not getting the service. He ain't getting the service. I don't want to say it's him. He ain't getting the service. Against Juventus, basically scraps he was feeding on. Anything, when he got the shots, he had to take the opportunity really fast, because if he didn't, he would have been closed down. So these snapshots, bam, over, wide. So I won't blame him too much, but got to show up still, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
some may
absolutely.
argue that Lewandowski would have scored one of those goals, one of those opportunities. See what I'm saying? So,
It is very, very strange, but yeah, I would absolutely agree with you. I think both Liverpool and City are the 2 teams to beat as well. Just the chasing pack, as we like to call it. So let's go on to obviously the game itself. Now, very interesting stats I was looking at. In the Premier League era at Anfield, Liverpool have won 29. There have been 23 draws, and actually Man City are leading the head-to-head record with 31. This is of all time at Anfield. So how do you think Manchester City will approach this game, do you think?
well, I think we would Stamford Bridge the game. You see what I'm saying? Because against Chelsea, we went to Stamford Bridge. We got the job done. We're not going to go there and think like, oh man, we're the inferior team and we have to like play defensive football, set up like very defensively with 2 holding midfielders. Oh, you know what? Put out nine defensive players and just have 2 guys up top to run behind. City are not going to do that. It's going to be business as usual, same approach. Just go in, play our game, see how well we could break down Liverpool, and just try to win the game. I don't think Pep is going to try to do anything different, and he's just going to keep things simple. And it's up to Liverpool to try to combat that and win at home and try to keep us out, because the pressure is on you. The pressure is on you because we have the title. We've won 3 in 4, 5 across the last, decade or so, and you need titles, and you're at home. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You're ahead of us right now in the table. So the pressure is on you to keep a clean sheet, walk away with something, even a point. But for us, okay, if we don't win the game, okay, we don't win the game. We have to come again. Kudos to Liverpool if you win the game. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just, I don't think it's a lot of pressure on Pep to, okay, oh man, there's so much pressure to defend the title right now. I think it was more pressure on Klopp to defend that title and messed it up royally. But for Pep, I think he's been there, done that, went back to back before, and he's looking to do it again. And this game is pivotal. Still early, but it's pivotal. It's very, very pivotal because it's going to be difficult to come to the Etihad and beat City. It's very difficult to go to Anfield, especially in front of people, and actually win, because City have not won at Anfield in back-to-back Premier League games, well, top flight games, I should say, since 1952-53, around there. So in order for us to get that done, you have to break record on unprecedented stuff. But we've seen in the Premier League that a lot of unprecedented things have been happening lately, like with Arsenal and like with United. A lot of things have been happening. So let's see what happens. Let us see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Team news as far as things Liverpool side are concerned. Trent Alexander-Arnold is out with an abductor muscle injury, so it looks like James Milner is set to slot in at right back. He was magnificent against FC Porto the other night. And Thiago and Harvey Elliott are both out, although Thiago will be back in the after the international break. As far as Man City are concerned, Ilkay Gundogan is out until after the international break with a thigh injury, and Alexander Zinchenko could potentially return. So let's look at some key battles, because I have put out a few. Cancelo against Salah and James Milner. Now, I'm going to say this as an unbiased point of view. João Cancelo, for me, is the best fullback in the Premier League. I honestly think that. I think he's been magnificent since he's joined City. And I've seen a big, big improvement in him since he's joined Manchester City. So him against Salah and Milner, that could be very, very interesting.
Yeah, he's been very good, and defensively he's been very sound as well. And I prefer to have him there ahead of anybody right now, ahead of Mendy, but he's in jail. And there's Zinchenko. By the way, did you see that Mendy video though? You saw that video, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video going out. I was like, oh my God. Wow, stop it. But anyways, man, if you see where his mind is at. Look, innocent until proven guilty. But you see what he's going. And I speak to people about these things all the time. Sometimes when you see a player's not playing well, it's because their head is elsewhere. You see what I'm saying? Their head is not in the game. You see where Mendy's head is at. You see what I'm saying? So, look, it's about decisions in life. You make certain decisions, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. So, look, Cancelo, back to Cancelo. Don't want to talk about Mendy too much, though. Look, talk about João Cancelo. He has been very good. I don't want to go and give him too much labels to put pressure on him, and then people say, oh, what happened to the best player in the league, best fullback in the league, huh? What happened there, huh? So he has been very good. And I have said that right now on form. Before I've said it, I think I said it last season that Cancelo is the best fullback, and maybe I said it. I may have said it early in this season as well, but can't quite remember. But yeah, he has been good. He has been very good. I just need, the fact that he's right-footed, it
Mm.
does affect the crossing as well. See, he has to cut in and cross into the box from more centrally instead of more like go wider to cross in like a Simic or Robertson could do. And we know Kyle Walker doesn't really put too many crosses into the box as well. He does overlap, make some good runs and good squares. But in terms of crosses, quality crosses, yeah, he doesn't really have that in his game. So
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
City needs,
definitely.
yeah, I think City needs more of that though. To talk about, you're talking about key battles, but in terms of like tactically, I think we need to put the ball into the box more because you see what Brentford did when Brentford were putting the ball into the
Hmm.
box. Liverpool, oh man, they couldn't deal with that. So I think if we do that more, we could actually get the upper hand there and score a lot more goals against the Reds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the midfield battle is going to be very, very interesting as well. I mean, your midfield last week was Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, and Bernardo Silva. Do you think you might see the same midfield three?
Yeah, I think we'll see that. I think we'll see the same midfield three. The only question for me would be with who plays at right wing, whether it's gonna be Jesus or Mares. And who goes to the middle as the fourth line. Those two positions I think, I can't really put my money on that one quite yet. Who knows? Maybe Foden could start and he'll play in the middle and Bernardo would go out wide. Maybe there's something like that could happen. Who knows what Pep's going to do? Pep's a very unpredictable guy these days. And that's not a bad thing. It's not bad to be
Hmm.
unpredictable. Being predictable is not the best thing. You see what I mean? People figure you out very easily. And I prefer that he's unpredictable than he's overthinking and he
Yeah,
does something silly.
yeah, 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 definitely. Gabriel Jesus, is he a winger or a striker in your honest opinion? Because he has played
Uh,
winger and he has played striker this season. What do you think is his best position?
Oh man, for Brazil, he plays as a striker, right? Doesn't he play as a
Yeah,
striker for
for
Brazil?
for Brazil, he plays as a striker.
Oh man, I don't even know, man. That's the thing with Pep. Pep would do these things. You see what I mean? And he would make them work. It's like Cancelo. He's a right back. Cancelo really plays as a midfielder who helps out in defense. That's you know
Hmm.
because he's in the midfield most of the game. And Pep decided not to go in after the Hurricane deal didn't go through. He didn't get a striker because he said, okay, let's use Ferran as a striker. And Ferran Torres has a lot of a strike. He has more striker instinct than a lot of the other players. Where for a striker, they in and out of the game, and
Yeah.
they're in the game when they need to be in the game. And Ferran does have that instinct where he gets a lot of tap-ins. And when you see a striker getting a lot of tap-ins, that's a positive sign, though. That's a positive sign
Hmm.
because it shows that they're on their toes. Whilst I think Sterling, I don't want to see Sterling from the start. Just want to get that out there right now, because there's going to be fans at the stadium, and even though he has had some success lately against Liverpool, when the fans are there, oh man,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's like he sees a ghost. Like he always. I'm not.
he's in his head. That he's in his own head.
Hmm.
That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah. Sterling, whenever he goes to Anfield with fans, he always seems to suffer. And but yeah, it is going to be a really, really intriguing game. So obviously, with you not wanting Sterling to start, what is your starting 11 for Manchester City at Anfield on Sunday?
This one is tricky, man. It's tricky. Ah, Edison in goal. Walker, Cancelo, fullbacks. Diaz, Laporte, Rodri. I'll go with Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, It's tricky, man. I was actually talking to Kyle last night, and Grealish. I think I went with Ferran through the middle and Jesus, and I did that because I Jesus works a lot harder than Mahrez, and I think if we have Mahrez to come on a little late in the game to do his thing against the tired legs of the Liverpool defenders, it may work. Foden
Yeah.
as well to come on late. Sterling as well to come on late if we need him. See what I'm saying? I wish we had 5 substitutes to bring on more, but it's only
Yeah.
3. But let's see what Pep does though. I think he'll put out a strong 11 because when I saw the 11 against Chelsea, I was like, oh my God, I like this. Yeah, I'm like, I like this, man. I really like this. So what about you? What do you think the 11 will be for Klopp?
Um, Allison in goal because ain't going to be Adrian, ain't going to be
You sure?
Kelleher, and no,
You
definitely not.
sure? You sure you don't want to start Adrian?
No, definitely not.
You better look. You better hope. You better hope he doesn't get a knock in training or something like before the game, and
Yeah,
you know,
touch wood, obviously.
yeah,
I think it'll be Milner at right back because obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold is out, and if I'm being honest, I'm quite glad because the last time Trent played against Grealish, Grealish gave him a torrid time. As well, so that's going to be another interesting battle as Milner against Grealish. I think it's going to be Joe Matip and Virgil van Dijk, the centre backs, and then Andy Robertson at left back, and then I'm going Fabinho, Jordan Henderson, Curtis Jones. I think Curtis Jones will start
yeah,
again. And then I'm going Salah, Firmino. I think Firmino will come in for Jota. And then I do think Mane will still keep his place. Although there have been talk or there have been a lot of Liverpool fans actually wanting potentially Jota to be in for Mane instead. But in the big games, I think it's that front three, Salah, Firmino, and Mane.
yeah. I was actually mentioning that as well because Jota has been a bit hit and miss, while Firmino, with his relationship with the other two in the front, could actually be good for this game because you need experienced players for this game. You don't think there's no chance Joe Gomez starts at right back here for Liverpool?
Mm, I mean,
Seeing
it's
that
possible.
seeing that Milner played the game in the week.
It's possible, but I just think you'll go with Milner because he's tried and trusted that. Joe Gomez, to be fair, came on the other night, did okay, did okay. I think he was caught out for the goal from Taremi, but
Yeah,
I don't want Joe Gomez to be a backup for Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back for like because James Milner's played there at right back, and he's obviously I think Milner for me is very good defensively, and he's actually very good putting a ball into the box. I'm not sure Gomez can do that.
Swiss Army knife, bro. Yeah, Swiss Army knife, man. That's what he is, James
Yeah,
Milner. Yeah, you gotta say thanks. We give him to you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Former City man there. So yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So I can't let you go without a score prediction. What are you going for?
Wait, what happened? I thought you had a combined 11. What? You forgot that combined 11?
I'm doing this after the preview.
Oh, okay, okay. My score prediction 3-2 Man City. 3-2. I think it's gonna be a good game, and I think we're gonna edge Liverpool. I want a 3-2. If it's a 3-2, it will be a classic. Whether it's a
Hmm.
3-2 for Liverpool or 3-2 for City, it will be a classic. Remember that 4-3 game?
Oh yes,
That was good. That
that
was good.
was that was a
Yeah,
great
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. We
Um.
almost we almost came back in that game. That was so good, man. That game was good. I think we could see something like that, but with Man City coming out on top this time. And I'm not saying that to be biased to anything. It's just to when you look at the last results and against City versus Liverpool, I think, but Liverpool fans won't see it that way though. They would disregard the previous results and be like, yeah, we're gonna win. We had Anfield. Look, even if this game was playing on a neutral ground at Selhurst Park or something, Liverpool fans would
Mm.
have felt, oh yeah, we love to play at Selhurst Park. Of course we're gonna beat City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah. Like, I predicted us to lose to Chelsea, but after what we did against Chelsea, I'm like, no. I'm not predicting my team to lose there. Maybe I should predict us to lose so that maybe it could work again. But I'm gonna go for a win here for Man City, 3-2 though.
Well,
What about
believe
you?
it or not, I've gone 3-2 Liverpool. I actually think I actually think somebody is going to win this game. I honestly do.
Uh,
I don't think it's going to be a draw. I honestly do think someone is going to win this game. But it's going to be an absolute cracking game, for sure. And we'll obviously see what happens on Sunday. So, Dominic, it has been an absolute pleasure to do a preview with you. It has been an absolute pleasure. Have you got what have you got coming up on your channel?
a lot of things. A lot of things. A lot of things. I'm still like putting out some Champions League clips. There's the Premier League stuff as well. I have some World Cup stuff coming up because next week World Cup qualifiers. So I'm just doing my thing, man. You know what I mean? Football lover and just, putting out the content.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, go and check Mr. Rich's channel. He's closing in on 50K. Let's get him to 50K as soon as possible. Like me, he is unbiased. He is a football fan like myself as well. But guys, let us know your starting 11s and your prediction for into the comment section down below. I'm going 3-2 Liverpool. Dominic is going 3-2 City. It could go either way. Klopp against Pep, there's always fireworks. I fully expect a little bit of the same on Sunday. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye for now.
Peace.